All right, we're live. Good morning.
Morning.
That was pretty good. So today's going to be a little bit of orientation for some of the new agents. We'll make sure we get everybody introduced. I think some of you may have met already in some of the classes we have, and then I'm really excited about once we get through this transition to start kicking off our mentor and accountability program. Janice and I have sat down many times and tried to put this together, and we think we've got a good foundation for it, but it's going to be our first attempt. So we're going to need some feedback and some education on your all side just to see what we need to do to continue what we did and make it even better. So today what we want to do is just get those that are new with us to get orientated, and some of you have been through this, but it's been a while, so it's going to be a little bit of a refresher, and some of you hit the ground running, and I think it's going to be helpful because you kind of got thrown into the fire real quick with being on board, and all of a sudden somebody says, hey, would you list my house, or can you show me a house real quick? And you're going, I don't know how to get in a house, or what forms do I need to list a house? So, that's great that you get into it that way, because it's probably better than that than sitting around watching the paint dry and try to wait for that first deal to come down. So why don't we go ahead and kick it off and just kind of go around, and we'll introduce ourselves and tell a little bit about yourself so we can get to know, who you might be. And doesn't matter which way we start, we can always just look at you and say, Bob, why don't you go first?
My name's Bob Howard. I live in Winchester. I'm currently a school teacher. I have a few more years to retirement, so I kind of wanted to get into real estate for my after teaching career. And I've noticed that this requires a lot of time and effort. I've been extremely busy with. I also I consider like baseball, so now my baseball season's over. I got some vacation, so I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Good, glad to have you.
Robert Collins. Very new to real estate. It's my first go at it. I was a restaurant manager for a little over 20 years and going through major life changes, and decided to do something that I've wanted to do since I was a kid.
Excellent.
I'm Jackie Lawson. I started with RE/MAX in January. I've been in real estate for 4 years. I was with another company, and I just really thought about what do I want to do? Do I want to keep with real estate? I met with Heather, and I made my decision that I wanted to stay with real estate. I wanted to come to another company, but I have enjoyed the training so much. I've gotten so much out of it. I'm retired from pathology and cytology. I was always in the medical world, and I was there for over 20 years. And I retired for about 2 years, and then I decided I was going to go to real estate school. And it's been a joy, and I like this.
Good, glad to have you.
Ben Thompson, I'm from Versailles, and I've been with these guys since about January as well. And I'm actually in the process of moving, listed our house a month ago, and we closed this Monday, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff to move, and the rain, and
Right.
crunch time, so it's going to be an interesting week.
Yeah.
But happy to be here, and as Jackie alluded to, the training is amazing, and there's a lot of help out there, and it's been a joy thus far.
My name's Corey Lester. I was an electrician for 14 years. Had some medical issues last year and decided to go a different route with my career. So I know Kevin Bradley really well. He told me to join up and start doing real estate. And then I ended up coming here because I have a good connection with John. I adopted a daughter, and John's adopted some kids, and we hit it off really good with that. And their training here seems like it's top notch. So out of everybody else that I've interviewed with, I'm really excited and can't wait to get going.
And I'm Janice, your favorite broker, don't you?
Yeah.
Remember, it's not just Janice, it's Janice.
Yeah, that's your favorite program. My name's Eric Morgan. I spent probably the last 16 years in Toyota. I hated most of it. Finally
Made good
decided,
money though, didn't you? So if you worked
the golden handcuffs is what I call it, golden handcuffs. It's been an interesting journey to get here. It's probably a 3-year decision to if I wanted to go from regular steady paychecks to commission-based pay.
Finally just made a decision to save up the money to cover my expenses while I make this transition. It took me about a year or so to get my license. Joined RE/MAX unofficially this past January, and officially this past April, came on board and hit the ground running. And it's been an interesting transition. I'm used to go, 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 and now it's like feast and famine, go, stop, go, stop.
So I'm John Gruff. Most of you already know me, and I've been fortunate to be with Janice 19 years, I think it is. So I started in May of '02, June of '02, and kind of came in with an attitude I wanted to try to run my own business. I've been in corporate business for a long time in the computer industry and bounced around the last couple of years, getting downsized when the computer industry was going through some changes. And came on board, started helping Janice teach some classes and get some agents in regards to just business skills, and started teaching some business planning and things like that, and then had the opportunity to move into our management team and just had a blast. I mean, it's been very rewarding to help people. My background is I love to coach. I coached for 26 years. And the thing that I like to do is just try to help you get the most out of yourself. And everybody has different levels to meet. All we want you to do is get to your best level. And when I coached my last 5 years, which was a high school coach at Tates Creek High School for the softball team, the thing that I told the girls is everybody has a skill set, and they all need to find the position of where they want to be. And Janice kind of used the same philosophy. We need to get everybody on the bus and get you in the right seat and find the right people. Well, you know, we want to do the same thing with our agents. We want to get the right agents into our program here and make sure that they get educated and get the skills that they need. And the final thing that I always tell the girls is, you know, yesterday needed to be your best, but today had to be better than yesterday. And tomorrow's got to be better than today. So what we've got to make sure is every day you're educating yourself and trying to increase your knowledge and use that to grow your business. And we've got the management team here, the leadership, to help you get wherever you want to go. Okay, and we'll help you decide where that is. Because sometimes you think you know where you're going, and then at that point, you have to take a step back and just realize that, okay, I know it's going to take this much effort, so why don't we readjust some things and go from there. So I love being right in this position. This is my sweet spot. I love teaching and helping people grow, and I get as much out of it as you all will get out of it. And I've learned so much just by teaching because it keeps me on my toes. And you know, I'm out there doing the same thing you guys are doing every day, and I think that helps my teaching ability because that keeps me abreast of what challenges you all have, and then we either try to solve them together or learn a way to defeat them ourselves. So I'm excited to have you all here, and really what we're going to try to accomplish over the next month to 2 months is try to get as much information to you all that we can to help build a foundation. And you're going to hear me say these words over and over. Is everybody in this room will develop a business model. And in real estate, it's all the main things is about getting your sources and figuring out where your business is going to come from. And your number one asset, who knows that? I've probably told a few of you.
Friends and family.
Friends and family, or your database. Your database is the key to your success. And you're going to find out that the way that you grow your database is different among every one of you. Okay, your sources are going to be different. The way that you influence people and take care of others and things like that will impact your business dramatically. But I'll share with you day one that your database is going to be the lifeblood of your business. And you can sit here and think that the phone's going to ring automatically or it's going to come to you, to you that way, but you're going to find out those who hustle the most will benefit the most. So we'll talk about that and how we get our database grown and what activities and community things you can do to get involved. And all you want to do is just get to know people and then ask them for referrals and ask them who do they know that might be buying and selling. And your best person that might be your highest referring person may never buy a house from you. They may never be, but your relationship with that person may be the key to your success. I've told many of you all the story of my painter. Brett Mariner's been amazing to me. And he and I met through another business partner, Christina Depew, who was here. We were partners together. she introduced me to Brett, and Brett started painting some houses for my clients. He's painted my house twice. And, you know, through that relationship, we've both given each other over $100,000 in commissions. And I've told you the story, basically he carries a listing packet in his truck. It's got paint all over it. There's 2 of them in his dashboard. I try to keep him with a couple of them. And when he walks into somebody's house who's getting ready to paint, he just says, hey, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, I've got the realtor, and he'll hand them that. And it may go in the trash, it may go whatever, but over the 7 years, it's been very fruitful for that type of relationship. And that's what I want to really make sure as we get through this, that you understand that's going to be the key to your success, is those relationships and how you build those and how you get involved. So some of you might be fortunate enough where your business will take off just because of who you're connected to, but it's really going to take off of, you know, who you go out there and connect with. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to get a foundation for the newer agents that are just on board. We're going to kind of walk through our orientation. It'll be kind of a refresher, but before I get into that, Janice, do you want to give them any type of words of something?
Of course, I never miss out.
Wisdom of that?
Never miss an opportunity. First of all, thank you all for choosing RE/MAX Creative, and it's really good for me to hear why you all are here with us. But from our perspective, you're the chosen ones, and I don't mean that lightly. We interview a lot of people we will not take because of some things we hear out of them when we interview them and their sincerity. Basically, most brokers will take somebody who's breathing. If they're breathing and they went and got a license, they hire them. They don't really interview them and care a whole lot. Because you got to realize 80% of the realtors who spend all that time and all that money are not in it 5%. 80%. So I want you to look around you and think, if we did that same thing, which 20% of it won't be? But that's not how we view it. We view that once we start working with an agent, they're gonna make it, you know? So we're a little different too from what RE/MAX has sort of caught up with us. I'm a teacher by trade. Loved teaching, didn't teach long, but I still teach. I've taught all my life, but I was an elementary school teacher. By the way, teachers make great realtors. But I'm gonna tell you the problem with you for before I get there. You're right, but basically, realtors and nurses, because you're carrying people, you know how to take care of people, you know how, there's just certain things in certain industries that we know can make a good realtor. So, you know, again, you're the chosen one. John was one of the first ones. Also, we're a little different because we do take new agents, and RE/MAX did not tout that whatsoever. Our average agent, I joined RE/MAX in 1987. I've been in real estate since 75. I've owned my own company since 82. So I was running like what they call a 100% company without being a franchise, and RE/MAX kept knocking on my door and saying, hey, why don't you be RE/MAX? I don't need you. I don't need you. And then finally they came to me and said, we're coming to town. Do you want to be us or compete against us? I'm like, well, hold it. Let's look at this one. So I decided I want to be them. Yeah, when I learned what they had to offer. But back then we only took full-time experienced agent. The average agent that came into our industry and to RE/MAX had 9 years in business. They were already successful. It was our commission split that brought them in because they paid a flat fee. They got 100% of the rest of it. That's how it was structured back then. In 2002 or 2001, I guess, I started to, actually one of my agents that worked for me's daughter, Maggie Taylor, who's still with us, came to me and said, I want to get into real estate. Will you train me? And I'm going, Maggie, I'll train new agents, you know. But she goes, please, I want to be. And I said, okay, if you'll come to my office every day at 8:30, and we'll get going. And I'll give you that dedication if you'll give me the dedication back. So sure enough, she did. And she's, again, still with us from 2001. She's a dynamite personality, realtor. So in 2002, I enjoyed doing it. In 2002, I thought, I'm going to put a class together. I'm going to go against RE/MAX. I would love to train. I love to bring people into this industry. RE/MAX is different from this typical, you'll never know the difference because you started here. Jackie knows the difference because she started with a conventional office. But in a conventional office, they don't train you to be an entrepreneur. They don't train you to be a business person. They don't train you how to run your own company. They will tell you they make you successful. They take a lot more money from you than we do, and they put it in their company that they grow, not you that they grow. So sometimes recruiting agents from that conventional company was hard because they were afraid, they were fearful. You know, I would just be so excited telling them how wonderful RE/MAX was and blah, 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 blah. We're gonna make you an entrepreneur, and that was scaring them to death. So I decided I was gonna grow my agents. I wanted to start a training program. John was one of the first to come, and that you were in the
It's
first
in the
group,
first
right?
Mhm.
John quit a full-time corporate job with 2 kids. I don't know if they were in junior high or high school then, but they were young.
Mhm.
His wife worked, but they were used to his corporate salary. He got a paper route and got up at 4:30 in the morning to deliver papers so that he could get in this industry. He wanted to be in it so bad. So I want to talk to you about why someone like John and Trina, and we've got agent after agent after agent that started with us that are still with us. Not everybody made it, unfortunately. Even though I've been selected, we're more selected now. So you really are the chosen ones because we changed our philosophy, and when I commit my staff's time to you all, I want you all to have that same commitment back to us, and we feel you all are the ones to do it. But there's a chance you might not make it. I want to talk to you a little bit about why you might not make it. So help me out. Why do you think you might not make it, Bill?
Wow, okay.
Why wouldn't you make it?
Because you're
Just
not
give me one
used, sure, but because you're not used to working for yourself. You're used to having somebody guide you or tell you what you're supposed to do. And when you've got the morning, afternoon, and night where you got to feel it yourself,
Okay.
it can be overwhelming for
So
some.
you just fed into some of what I want you to tell me. I want you all to act like an employee, not an independent contractor. You are an independent contractor, and we're gonna build your business. But when you first start, if you don't give the dedication to this business like you're an employee, like you go punch a clock, that you don't come in here at 9 o'clock and leave at 5, you've gotta be here. You gotta fall into stuff when you're around here. You gotta have osmosis. You gotta absorb what's going on. You're the unconscious incompetent. You don't even know what you don't know. You're gonna fall into a deal or two, and that's gonna scare you to death once you know what you didn't know. Then there's gonna be another phase. Why aren't you gonna make it? Eric?
I guess the biggest thing would be fear of the unknown, insecurities.
And what will make you feel more secure?
Would be a lot of training, confidence building.
Education. So thank you for feeding me what I wanted to tell you. So you don't know what it's gonna take, why you wouldn't make it. So if you don't show up to these classes, like you're being paid to be here, if you don't consider yourself an employee, why you're in this, and we've had people, I can't go. Where's Alex right now? Where's Alex? He needs to be here. He got his license 3 months ago, and I haven't seen how I love him to death. This young kid has more potential. If he were sitting right here, I'd tell you the same thing. I've never seen such an entrepreneur, but he's not given the time commitment. Aren't you gonna make it?
Distracted by your other priorities in life.
Okay.
Like for me, to put food on the table, so I gotta do electrical work and this, so I can put food on the table until I can get this role, right?
So what's that mean? You're gonna work another job?
Yeah.
How much? Can you do it at 4:30 in the morning? So you
I was
can
up
get
at
it
6
by
o'clock this morning, I did. So, yeah.
So Bob, you're gonna have that same problem. I was gonna say, until you decide to retire, you're gonna have the problem that you're quote unquote part-time, which we really don't hire part-time people. But we do understand a little bit like John and somebody that might need to do something a little bit on the side.
Mhm.
But folks, in 1982, when I opened my own company, I borrowed $10,000 against my house to open my business. How much have you borrowed to open your business? Because I couldn't work another job. Oh, I was working too, because I was selling houses and then decided to, hire agents. I was playing a double role there. Bernie Otterbeck, that's still with us, was one of my first 3 agents. So, you might have to, do you have guts? Do you have enough guts to survive this? And another thing, you have fire in your belly. If you don't love this so much that you just can't wait to succeed, if you don't love helping people with their American dream, if you don't get that fire in your belly, and you don't get guts to be a risk taker, you're not gonna make it. You won't. You can be as smart as you can be. You can have all the talents. You can be the right personality. 75% of you should be bull tigers. I do my class, bulls, owls, lions, and tigers, which are the 4 quadrants. 75% of the people who end up succeeding are tigers, but they're the ones that just drive me crazy with paperwork and all this shit. They can sell everything, but oh my God, it's like, I have to have another one of these. I love every one of you. So we know these things, and we're going to work with your personalities, but we can't make you successful. You're going to be the one to do it. You got to have from 1982 to 1991. I joined RE/MAX in 87, so really maybe from 87 to 91. As I stayed small from 82 to 87, which is a little independent. And then when I bought into the big boys is when it really started hitting that I had to really, I'd committed to make a company, an international franchise company, successful. I put $350,000 in my company between 87, and I'm not rich, I grew up in a housing project. And I've been a single mom a lot of my life. And so I had to go out and work selling houses and do all that kind of stuff to make the commitment. So you're gonna have some guts, and you're gonna have to reach in sometimes and maybe borrow money. You may have to quit that job. If this job gets in your way, Bob, you've got a different situation. You've got a whole camaraderie of teachers right there who love you, and you all are close. Teachers are a close-knit group. You could be selling, you'll sell, and that's part of what when Heather talked to me about you, I said, he's part-time, but also I know there how many teachers that are in this business right now that did what you did right before they, so, you know, but you gotta go in there and work that database that you've got hold of. You've got the parents that you've had all these years. So you've got a heck of a database that hopefully most of them love you. Some of them may not. If you kick the kid off the team or something, don't call them. Okay, just don't do that. But you've got a great database. So even though you're not going to totally be available all the time, you should be able to be working your database every day because you're right there with them. So that's why, even though you've got a job, a real job, you're an employee of that. We took the chance with you because we feel that you can do it with that. I'm not here to scare you, but I'm really here to tell you, if you don't have these attributes, it doesn't matter. You won't make it. I've had trained, I don't know how many agents, and had how many agents in all these years I've owned these companies. And I know why people fail. John knows why people fail, and we don't want that to happen. So, you know, at first you gotta be like an employee. You gotta come in here. You gotta pay the price. You gotta do it. You gotta love what you're doing. I see you're in here almost every day. He took a test. He's in here sitting in that office. I don't know what you're doing in there, but
I woke him up the other day.
Set up at the computer area, get to know these experience statements. You've got to reach out to people to help you. Is anybody, Robert, I don't think you have the book that I've given everybody. I've got to get you. Everybody else got the book, the first year in real estate. Take that book and read it, underline it, dog ear. That lady went to a straight city where she knew 4 people and became very successful realtor. Follow her. It's a short, easy book, but read it over and over. What did she do? She got mentors, she got partners, she got this, and she had to reach out and do it every bit of it. We can train you, but we're not gonna hold your hand every day and make you do it. Just me.
Jackie, do you have the book?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I
I put
Don't
one,
think you
yeah, I I gave it to
Is
him.
it
Okay,
in the-
probably-
is it in the
Okay.
box that you just gave?
It's not in the binder, no, it's a separate hardback book.
Yeah.
which you-
No,
it's
All
not
right,
like-
okay, so 1, 2, 3. Bob, I know you've got one. You don't have one?
He came in before you got it, so then you didn't
Oh, okay,
have
well, I thought I
it.
went back and went, okay, so I'll run it down too.
I stole John's.
Sliding.
I know.
You got one?
I stole yours.
Yeah, you see.
And by stole, I mean you handed it
Ben's
to
got
me.
them all. So, you know, we want you to succeed. I want, so I won't see you here 20 years from now. I'm not sure I will be, but I might be. I don't, anyway, I want
Come
you
in
to
on
be.
your walker.
Huh?
Come in with your walker.
I can say, with a wheelchair, honey. I'm gonna take me, you know, I swear. I'm gonna be here.
You're like first floor master up here, so you
That's
can
right.
run the business and don't have to go off that whole floor.
But I wanna see you up here. I want you to succeed in this business. You're gonna be able to give your family and yourself and your life more than you ever thought you could, which is what we do this for. We do it because we love it. We don't sell it, we sell the American dream. What a great way to earn a living. We make more money than the President of the United States, by any senator, it's crazy. My realtors forget how many people don't make 100,000, much less 250,000, much less 300,000, much less 400,000, much less 600 and something thousand, which is what our realtors earn. And they've got retirement, because they say, we teach, and John's wanting to do this, and we're gonna make this commitment this fall to do Dave Ramsey again. That's another thing. It doesn't matter how much money you make, if you don't know how to budget it, it's sad. And we don't know how many realtors we have. Our very top one, Miss Melinda, but she loves me to tell her story. She doesn't care, I don't do things I should want that. But she spent everything she had the first 5 or 10 years. Everything. She was making 250, 300,000. She'd come say, I'm broke. Like, how could you be broke? You have 2 children. You have a husband that works. What the hell are you doing with your money? My husband doing this. I'm doing this. I'm going to get so. So she started learning and saving 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, and understanding, you know, we need to live like real folks. Sometimes people who make $40,000, $50,000 a year on a salary do better than my realtors do with their money, because they know how to budget. We know these $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 checks. So, woo! Let's go. Let me go over here and get me a new car. Oh yeah, I'll charge you that. You pay cash. Although Trina can't just pay cash for me.
Pay cash for
So
hers.
proud of her.
It's a
So,
lot better when you do that.
yeah, we wanna help you all that kind of thing, because you really are, you've got earning power beyond belief in this industry. I didn't get into it before, because I didn't know what it was. Money. I didn't know what money was. My first check was $823.37, and the reason I know that's, it's still in my office up there. My broker cashed it, you know, I mean, when I cashed it, he